Okay, so this is Robbie Berman. This is my first reaction video trying to use this new platform. And of course, I don't know how to do what it is that I want to do. This is wonderful. Let's see.
With their families, what did you see?
Well, Wolf, we weren't allowed to see anything. Israeli authorities blocked off roads, corralled the media into one location, brought the Palestinians in through the back door when they received them, and then only allowed family members to come in very limited single file in individual cars. And there's a reason for that. Because unlike the images of celebration, which you might have seen from Ramallah and the West Bank, here in East Jerusalem, Israeli authorities were better able to enforce the diktat of their far-right national security minister, who has deemed the prisoners released today as terrorists, but not just.
Okay, okay. Let's see. I'm not a fan of the far-right security minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, but to deem the terrorists that were released from Israeli prisons as terrorists, that would make sense because the terrorists are terrorists. I mean, yes, some of them are 14 years old, but you know what they tried to do? They tried to stab a woman. I met the woman 3 days ago. They didn't try. They stabbed the woman in her chest. That's a terrorist. I don't care if you're 10, 5, or 4. You're a terrorist if you try purposely to kill another human being. So this 14-year-old girl tried to stab an Israeli woman and did stab her, tried to kill her, did not succeed. She's now 16. She was arrested when she was 14. She is now 16. She stood in front of the judge. It was just a few weeks ago she had her sentencing, and the judge said, do you express remorse? Because if you do, I'm going to make your sentence lower. And she said, I do not express remorse. I'm 16 years old. Very happy I stabbed a Jew. He gave her 12 years. And this is the person that's on the list of people that's going to be released. And yes, a 14-year-old girl can be considered a terrorist. Some of them who are 12 years old threw firebombs at cars. When you throw a firebomb at a car and try to kill people, in my mind, in the mind of Merriam-Webster, you're a terrorist. This is like an incredible interview on CNN. I don't know who this journalist is, but she
that. He said any Palestinian who celebrates will themselves be charged as terrorists. I mean, just to break that down a little bit, there's no grounds to call them terrorists because by Israel's own reckoning, those 39 prisoners were 15 minors, 10 of whom were only charged.
There's by Israel's own reckoning, there's no reason to call them terrorists. No, they were deemed terrorists. That's why they were charged and put in prison. Now, I'm not saying Israel doesn't have people in prison that shouldn't be in prison. They do, like every country in the world. And I'm not saying that they don't have this awful thing called administrative detention, where people can be put in prison and not be brought to trial for years. And that is awful. But in this particular case, this journalist has just got it wrong.
And 24 women, 23 were detained, not charged. And 10 of the minors were detained, not charged. It complicates telling this story. So imagine your daughter has come home to you and you have to hide indoors to express your joy. I want to show you this video, Wolf, of a daughter reuniting with her mother that was sent to us by the family. Take a listen. That young lady you see there, the reason, I mean, there's no reason, it's her daughter, but beyond that, she had been arrested at the age of 16, convicted at 17 for 10 years, accused of attempted stabbing. Her family and her lawyer and Israeli and Palestinian rights groups say that this was a miscarriage of justice. Her family had taken this all the way to the Israeli Supreme Court, and her mother had lost hope. So the idea that Israel's far-right figures are demonizing Palestinian joy in this moment is part of a bigger picture, Wolf, that we have seen play out, where they're not distinguishing between Hamas and civilians, Wolf.
Hamas and civilians, but they're not. I don't understand Hamas and not distinguishing between Hamas and civilians. No, we are. Uh, we are. We are. Hamas is Hamas. And then there are civilians, Palestinians who are not Hamas, who committed terrorist attacks and will go to prison for a very long time. This is Robby Berman. This is my first reaction video. I know I need to improve upon it, but the content, you can't beat this content. This is pure entertainment, and I want to thank CNN, and a little bit surprised at Wolf Blitzer for not pushing back a little bit and saying, what are you talking about? How do I end the recording? How do I end the recording? I don't know how to end it. I've already hit it.